that Santa that falls off his roof, did nobody like him? Because
They moved on.
no one remembers him.
On.
Well, think about it. No one talks about him. No one says a word about this guy.
But we also don't know how many they've had.
Yeah, that was one of those, like, you see those memes where it's just like, what did you find out later in life that you were, like, embarrassed about? It's like, the Santa Claus was actually about
But I'm
a
not
class.
embarrassed because I was young.
Yeah, you're not going to know. You don't know law and shit and binding contracts.
Now I love it.
I just killed Santa Claus, and now I'm Santa Claus. And I can do whatever I want because I'm the boss.
Oh, my God. And can you imagine if anybody else found out? Like that one kid. So if I want to be Santa Claus, all I have to do is wait and knock you off a roof.
Right, and just put the fucking suit on.
It's a risky game. As soon as that gets out, that's a risky little game you're playing.
In this movie, it's like such a small rinky-dink room, and the puppets are next to the thing, and like, Hey, welcome to the Decision Reel Movie Review Podcast, where we try and fail to review movies of today and yesterday. This week, just me and Tara. Again, we're doing duo episodes here. I guess the holidays have gotten to a lot of people. Life, sickness, health problems, tired, something like that. This week, we are on episode 147.
So that means
we are 3 away from 50.
Which is it's going to be the last one of the year too, isn't it? If you do the math?
Probably, yeah. Look at that. There might be some things in order for that, maybe of something kind of cool. I don't know, but hey, stay tuned. This week, though, episode 147 is going to be different than what we promised last week if you listened. We had, again, people out sick, all good, doesn't matter, train keeps rolling. We are doing the Santa Claus to kick off the holiday season. The good old Tim Allen Santa Claus. I don't know if it's you or if it's me, but this is now like the main Christmas movie I watch.
This is, so I've talked about this on the show before, especially in the Christmas Eve or the holiday season. I've talked about this. I put my Christmas movies in tiers. And this was actually really early for me to watch this movie because I saved my top tier Christmas movies for the week of Christmas.
I got you.
This is in my top tier. A Muppets Christmas Carol is in my top tier.
Okay.
Elf and the Grinch. Those are usually that's the week of Christmas top tier movies.
What's kind of cool or kind of weird, not weird, but kind of different than a lot of people, you just said a lot of movies that are like newer, right? Like a lot of people when they're thinking about Christmas movies, they're thinking of Christmas Story, they're thinking It's a Wonderful Life, stuff like that.
And now, I mean, the Santa Claus is
Rosebud.
That's early 90s, right?
94.
Yeah.
So not new, but you can think of it being the new style of kind of Christmas movies that aren't classics, but in reality, this is a classic.
I'm not a big older movie fan and by older I mean like the black and whites, like I do
no Casablanca for you.
I do still watch Miracle on 34th Street, but I watched the color. I watched the new one.
Sure.
But it's not obviously new, but it's the newer one.
Newer.
In
Technicolor.
But I do sometimes still watch, It's a Wonderful Life, the original Miracle on 34th Street. I throw in A Christmas Vacation, in there with the Griswolds. And then I have even newer ones in there that I like the Noel movie with Anna Kendrick, which is super cute.
I heard that was all right.
And there was one that came out, now I'm blanking on the name of it, but it came out, it had Kristen Stewart in it and Dan Levy.
I like Dan Levy.
It was like just last year. It's a
was it a Hallmark
it's like
kind of movie?
No, it's on like Hulu or something.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to look it out because I do like it, Dan Levy.
I keep wanting to say that it just is like this Christmas or something, but it's not. I mean, I guess it might be.
That sounds familiar.
But I really like that one, and that's now in my rotation.
Sure.
And I like Four Christmases, which was my pick for last season.
Last holiday season. It's all wow. We're already back.
This Christmas.
It was quick. That revolution around the sun was pretty quick.
It really is, though.
I don't like it.
I was just talking today about something that happened 8 years ago because today was the anniversary of it, and I was like, "How was this 8 years ago?"
Right.
It just didn't. It didn't.
We're here. Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun or having no fun at all. It just keeps going.
Yeah, because it technically was a negative thing that happened 8 years ago, but it was one of those things where it was like,
exactly. Before the reels do fall off, however, and we get it deep into this. If you've listened to us before or if you have not, check us out on our social media sites at The Decision Reel. Go on our website, www.thedecisionreel.com. Find our merch tab. You can help us if you want to buy a t-shirt, buy a hat, buy a cup, buy some stickers, what have you. We got merch out there. That's the only way you can kind of get to us right now and help us out. You can also go to our website, like I said, and check out all our past reviews, past episodes, and some other episodes on there that are kind of special. But
The
this
obscure ones.
the obscure. But this one here, like I said, the Santa Claus, the plot of said movie. When a man inadvertently makes Santa fall off his roof on Christmas Eve, he finds himself magically recruited to take his place. I want to talk about this for a second. This is the only thing in the whole Santa Claus, I guess, universe, because now there's 2 more movies in the TV show, which is in its 2nd season. That Santa that falls off his roof, did nobody like him? Because
They moved on.
no one remembers
moved
him.
on.
Well, think about it. No one talks about him. No one says a word about this guy.
But we also don't know how many they've had.
Okay, so there's a scene
mean-
when they're in the Santa Claus room, and if you look on the wall, there's different paintings of different looking Santa Clauses.
So maybe
So
those are the
obviously,
ones.
those are the ones that have gone through.
So they've done this, like they know shit happens.
Sure, but doesn't
But
it
why
seem like
also is this the first Santa where they decide to come up with ways to protect him?
right? That's what I'm
Like-
saying. Like, why do they like
the
him
flame
more?
retardant suit, and they give him the parachute or whatever it is
Right.
in case he falls.
But this
Like-
one, like, he literally just gets startled on the roof, like, oh, somebody spotted me,
And
and falls
slips.
off. Now,
and is dead.
that's what I'm. Okay, that's the
That
second question.
seems-
Is he deceased, or does he like go back into his timeline
where?
and continue
And so
to?
he's a normal person,
Right.
as though it never happened.
Well, let's look at the 3rd movie, right? Because this is canon. Then,
Yeah.
when Jack Frost takes
Frost.
over, Scott Calvin goes back to where he was living.
And he starts he doesn't have the weight and the beard. Like it starts going back to
Right.
normal
Now, I
Scott
don't
Calvin.
remember, is it in that moment, or does he go back in time to when they took the suit?
I don't think
Because they do go back in time to when, so Jack Frost takes the suit, but
I
I'm saying,
don't think he goes back in time.
Right,
'Cause
he
the
just
kids
keeps-
are older and stuff, I think still, right?
oh, that's right. He's in place in time when he loses the suit because he doesn't remember what happened in the past to his wife,
Mhm.
his son, all this, because he's catching back up to him, and his wife in the movie doesn't even know him.
So did that Santa fall off the roof and now he's just in a life he has no familiarity with?
That's what I'm saying. But also,
Where
it's
have
not,
you been?
Yeah. Who knows?
It's been
Or
gone.
but also, how long are you Santa Claus, right? Because those elves have been there for. You have the one Judy who makes him the hot chocolate, and she says it's taken me 1,200 years to perfect the recipe.
Well, and Santa doesn't. I mean, they are like immortal at that point, I guess, unless
Or
you fall off a fucking roof.
Hold on, or are they? Right? Because if you're watching this canon, right, inside this,
Sure.
obviously Tim Allen as an actor is aging in real life while you're watching this. So they're not like making him look any younger. So to me,
No, but he does
essentially,
have so much makeup and the beard and everything on. Most
right,
of the
right.
time.
But Mrs. Claus and everybody, they're having kids and they're growing up. So essentially, they're aging. You can't just have a kid and then what does it do? It stops at a certain point. Like, is there's a cutoff at like, hey, I'm 30 and I don't age anymore until we
Yeah,
leave
that I don't
the
know.
Santa
I actually
Claus,
don't know.
the North Pole, which is funny that it's an actual pole
I know.
that comes out and
That's
it's just
the North
it's
Pole.
just a calculator.
But even Tim Allen in interviews has addressed that there are holes in the story.
Yeah,
He's like,
no.
look, we can't explain them all. I know even that there are not there are flaws.
And I'm okay with it because it's not supposed to be a serious movie, obviously,
No, it's
right?
about Santa Claus.
Right. But also, if you're going to call it the Santa Claus and then have in
We need the whole
writing,
clause.
yeah,
Where's
we
the rest
need.
of it?
I need to know: does this guy die? Does he get put back
I
in
do
place?
like the play. I don't think that I realized until when this movie came out, we were young,
94.
and I don't think I realized until later years,
The
clause,
Santa
yeah,
Claus. Right.
yeah, was
Yeah, that was one of those you see those memes where it's just like, what did you find out later in life that you
And
were
it's that-
embarrassed
it's
about?
like
It's
that
like
one.
the Santa Claus was actually about.
But I'm
a
not
clause.
embarrassed because I was young.
Yeah, you're not gonna know. You don't know
No.
law and shit and
But
binding contracts.
now I love it. I think it's such a cool play on.
It's a great
on it.
concept for a movie
Mhm.
when you think about it. And if you take a step back, almost this movie could have been completely different,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we were supposed to do the movie Violent Night this week. Watching that movie, then watching this movie kind of back to back makes you kind of think, what if they did make this movie a little more,
Like
not
darker.
risque, but darker, right? Like, hey, I just killed Santa Claus, and now I'm Santa Claus, and I can do whatever I want because I'm the boss.
Oh my God, and can you imagine if anybody else found out? Like that one kid. So if I want to be Santa Claus, all I have to do is wait and knock you off a roof.
Right, and just put the fucking suit on.
It's a risky game. As soon as that gets out, that's a risky little game you're playing.
Well, who finds out about it in the third movie like we just talked about? Jack Frost figures it out and does it, and what does he do? He creates Christmas as like a place to go, a destination, if you remember, which, come on, that was kind of... Look, I'm a sucker for Martin Short, so...
Come on.
I'm a sucker for Martin Short.
Of the movies, they
Uh,
could have left that one out.
I would rather watch the third one.
Really?
I don't like the second one.
You don't like Robot Santa?
I don't like the main elf in that movie. The fat kid. I don't remember his name.
Because what's his face is still in it.
He's
Bernard
still
is
in it, but he's barely in it. The other kid is more predominant. The fatter
what are you
elf.
talking about? The one who is in the
Yeah, like a Disney Channel movies and
the
stuff.
kid.
Yeah.
With
Bruce
Bruce
Willis.
Willis.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I wasn't a fan of his either. Like in those movies.
He was annoying.
I can't think of like other stuff that he had done as he got older, but I feel like he always bugged me. Even
I
when
just don't like.
even
Yeah.
when he was just a future character in something, I was like,
Get out of here. So where to
semi-blurry.
watch? Where to watch the Santa Claus? If you have a subscription to Disney Plus, that is on there with all the other movies and the TV show, which is now the Santa Claus.
I still haven't watched that. I just don't think that's going to be my vibe.
I checked out a Tim Allen halfway through Last Man Standing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And his right wing pushing.
It's just sometimes, I mean, on both sides, really. Like, I feel like sometimes
It's
any
too much.
shows or something can go too far.
Straddle the line of in between, right?
Or even just comments. Like,
That's
it
what I'm
doesn't need
saying.
to be like,
Joke about one side, joke about the other, so everybody's included. You don't need to push your agenda.
yeah.
It's a business, right? So what are you trying to do? You're trying to have everybody watch it, toe the line of
cover
everything.
multiple demographics.
Exactly. If you don't have a subscription to Disney Plus, you can watch it on Amazon, YouTube, Philo, Google Play, Apple TV, and Redbox, but you'll have to rent it. Also, Vudu's on there. This is written by Leo Benvenuti and Steve Rudnick. They also wrote Space Jam and Kicking and Screaming.
Space Jam, that's a good one.
Basketball Jones.
But not the other Santa Clauses.
Basketball Jones. So this was directed...
Has it been a different... I mean, I guess we wouldn't know unless we looked. Has it been a different writer for all three Santa Clauses?
I can find out if you want me to.
I don't want to look in case I see
right,
something.
Yeah. No problem. I can look it up.
Although technically, I only need to look up the second and third one. Right?
True, and I don't think we're going to do...
I don't expect it. You might pick the third one since you've got some Martin Short facts.
Yeah, I do. I love Martin Short. He just knows how to tickle my fancy. So the Santa Claus 2 was the same guys, Leo Benvenuti and Steve Rudnick. I don't know why
So
it wouldn't.
Same guy. Maybe they were just saying he did the Santa Clauses.
That's weird. On their filmography, it doesn't say that. It just shows the Santa Claus and then Space Jam and then Damon Kicking and Screaming. It doesn't say Santa Claus 2, but they're written. On Wikipedia, it shows them as, okay, hold on. They did the story. Then their screenplay is by some other people.
So maybe didn't actually write any of it. They're just saying that
they did the story.
The story
and
came
then,
from him because he did the first one.
And then the Santa Claus 3 is based on characters created by Leo Benvenuti and Steve Rudnick, but written by Ed Decter and John J. Strauss.
Okay.
Sure. This is directed, though. Let me see if the other ones are directed. So the Santa Claus 3 was directed by Michael Lembeck, and Santa Claus 2, Michael Lembeck. This movie, though, is directed by John Pasquin. He's also directed Jungle to Jungle, Joe Somebody, and Miss Congeniality 2. He's also directed 39 episodes of Home Improvement and 73 episodes of Last Man Standing.
I feel like there's a connection there.
What do you think that connection would be?
I don't know.
Maybe
Probably
Tim Allen?
The studio.
Or the studio. No, it's definitely. So the guy that did the Santa Claus 2 and 3 has also directed The Tooth Fairy, which is terribly
That's with
bad.
The Rock.
With The Rock. And then television, he's made some TV movies. Nothing. The Bling Ring. Here's what's
I
happened.
just watched that.
A Nutcracker Christmas. Snow Day in 2022. I'm assuming that's
It's
like a Disney Channel or something.
It is.
He's also directed a bunch of TV shows. Let's see if there's anything good. He did 24 episodes of Friends.
What?
Caroline in the City. Wow, I completely forgot about that show. He did 5 episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond. Veronica's Closet. You remember that?
Yes.
That was old. Wow, this is getting... Two Guys, a Girl, and Pizza Place. He did 22 episodes of that.
He's got something for everybody on there.
He really does. According to Jim, he did Californication, Hot in Cleveland.
Oh, Jesus.
Baby Daddy, Mystery Girls, Mr. Robinson, One Day at a Time.
Okay, I don't know.
He's also acted in a lot of stuff too. Holy shit, this guy's busy. Good for him. What does he look
just
like?
living his life behind the scenes. Mainly,
Oh my
right?
God, that guy. I know this guy.
What?
Let me find a better... Well, no.
See, if the Bling Ring is about those high school students like back in the day that robbed a bunch of celebrity houses.
That guy look familiar to you?
Yeah, he does actually.
Yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff and done a lot of stuff. Good for him.
Do you
Just
remember
staying
that?
busy. Yeah.
That's what the movie's about because they were called the Bling Ring.
What was it on? Because it said a TV movie. Something.
I've seen it come on like one or two of the streaming things. Like I watched it on streaming and I didn't have to pay for it. So, but it's got like Emma Watson's in it, and she's playing this like LA high school valley girl, and it's so silly to watch.
That is not a TV movie. That's a full released movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Unless they did the Bling Ring something else.
Yeah, maybe.
But
yeah, that was 2013. Yeah, I know. I've seen this movie.
It's really so silly. Like the people in it are silly, like the acting. But I think it's an interesting story. It's wild that they got away with it for so long, honestly, and got so much stuff out of it.
Wow, I just learned something. So the main girl, have you watched any of the Nun movies?
No.
Have you seen the first couple seasons of American Horror Story?
Yes.
So the house one, you know how the girl that's in the house with the guy who like shot himself?
Well, yeah, I just watched The Bling Ring, so I know who you're talking about.
Thaisa Farmiga.
Yeah, she
her name.
lives with Emma Watson in the movie.
Sure. I didn't know that she's the daughter of somebody from Are You a Co-op?
Who's she the daughter of?
The main chick that was the psychologist.
Oh, they look alike. So
yeah,
that
now,
makes total sense.
It's like it just clicked.
Total sense.
Because her last name's Farmiga, and you're not going to forget that name.
I didn't know that the guy in the show The Boys.
Which character?
The guy, the boy whose girlfriend died. Like that's how the show starts.
Yeah, Meg Ryan's
I didn't know he was Meg Ryan's son until like this week.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Because you saw that same article that's everywhere.
Because she was like,
he's not.
He's doing it on his own. I didn't do shit.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Which makes sense to me because I didn't even know they were fucking related.
You know who his dad is.
Well, if it's Meg Ryan's son, then it would be... Oh my God, I can't remember now who her life included.
Pretty sure it's Kurt Russell.
Is it?
I think it is. What's his name?
No, Kurt Russell is with Goldie Hawn.
Oh, you're right. What the fuck's his name? What's his last name?
I don't know. It's not Ryan. I don't think.
Quaid. Donald Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid? Donald Quaid. Dennis Quaid. Same.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Right. He looks a little bit more like him.
You're right. The Santa Claus is rated PG for a few crude moments. And they're definitely all from Tim Allen. Being crude. Nope, not looking.
I mean, that's...
It's prime Home Improvement Tim Allen.
Yeah, and it's not. It wasn't like
kids.
Nothing was like as a kid watching this, I wouldn't have picked up on those things.
There's one thing that they actually took out of this movie, and we're going to get to that in Steve's Fun Facts later. Yeah, it's going to be good. This movie, though, is starring Tim Allen as Scott Calvin, Eric Lloyd as Charlie Calvin, Wendy Crewson as Laura Miller, Judge Reinhold as Dr. Neil Miller. I guess I didn't know they got married. I thought they were just together. His ex-wife.
No.
I didn't.
Well, because he...
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember if they ever acknowledged him as her husband, but...
I don't think they did.
I can't remember now. The kid just calls him Neil, so...
Fucking Neil. We also got David Krumholtz as Bernard, Paige Tamada as Judy the Elf, and Peter Boyle as Mr. Whittle. I want to say something about David Krumholtz as Bernard. Just watched Oppenheimer again. My God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything about him being a little weighty, but he looks like he's 65 years old in that movie.
Well, this did come out.
I looked it
ago.
up today. Me and Tiffany, when we were watching it on the couch, I was like...
Because how old is he? 40s?
He's 44.
Yeah.
In Oppenheimer, he does not look 44. He looks 65.
Maybe they aged him.
I think they did because... No.
Because how old?
Yeah,
Like, what?
because he was, I think, 14 in this movie. He was born in 1978.
He was only 4. I would have thought he was older.
Yeah, he looked
Honest to God,
yeah.
I would have thought he was older. He seemed like the oldest elf there, and
I mean, technically he would have been. All those elves were like
14.
10.
He's tall, and like he was taller than all of them, and he just looked older to me.
Well, 14 now is not old, but
No,
when you're
my best friend's son is 13.
Ew.
He seems so much older than my friend's son.
Well, think about
me.
this too, like the way people dress or style their hair nowadays, people look a little different than they did when we were kids.
Yes, I feel like
Think about it. Look at
I feel like
baby
even
pictures.
thinking about myself at 14, he looked older than that,
A little older.
to me at least.
Runtime 97 minutes. I think this type of movie could go a little longer, right? I want a little more explanation.
Yeah, I mean,
I want that I want them to tell me what's going on. I want the backstory.
Well, and I think that's why it had to be. Like, you don't want to leave anything out, but you still want to have the entertainment.
Correct.
But also, they had to get through a year of events happening.
11 months.
This
right?
happens the span over until Thanksgiving-ish time frame.
Well, no, they go back to Christmas, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, when he goes back, it's
Right.
like Thanksgiving-ish. So
right, because
like,
they said, I expect you to be back at
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
So it's Christmas to Christmas. So it's a whole year that they have to get through that movie.
Correct.
So, and they didn't want to just jump to, okay, he's Santa Claus. You have to show the transition.
Yeah. Yeah, put on a little weight.
I thought they did a good job without it looking like it jumped to him being Santa Claus and without dragging it too much.
Well, they do one. They do.
That first jump is pretty big.
Well, I'm saying
actually.
when he shaves and then it grows right back in, dated for sure now, but it's funny.
When I was watching it, I thought it was a little too soon that they made him. I mean, he was like coming back from Christmas break to work.
Right.
And he was already like twice his size, I feel
Wearing
like.
his sweats.
And they're like, really?
Yeah. Had a few extra
Also,
cookies.
who comments on someone's weight like that?
Well,
My
weren't
God.
aren't they in a he's developing like toys or something? Or,
Toys.
But they're the people trying to make.
They decide what they're going to sell, what they're going to create, and what they're going to sell. I just feel like regardless, I feel like you're not like, Jesus, you got fat. Like, you know what I mean?
Haven't seen you in a week.
That's
What the fuck
basically
happened?
what they did. And then he said the bee sting. And when he orders all the food, she's like, a bee sting.
Right.
It was a big bee.
It's funny though.
Also, they waited for him to finish his last bite. They could have started.
But it makes it funnier.
I mean, it does. But, I mean, they're the ones who ordered salad. I would have looked right at him and been like, no one told you
Right.
you had to get salad.
Get whatever you want. I want some cookies and milk. Non-fat. Anyways, release date, November 11th, 1994.
It's my cousin's birthday and Veterans Day.
I will say this. This
that
feels
order.
a little too soon for it being a Christmas movie. You know what I mean?
Well, you do get a lot of Christmas movies that come out like the week of Thanksgiving. So this is a
But that's
smidgen
still-
early.
yeah.
It's a smidgen early.
I'm thinking they might have thought this might not do that well on or by Christmas, so let's put it even way before. Unless there was other movies up against it that were coming out that they're like, oh.
I also honestly I can't remember like back then but we used to have a family tradition where every year on Thanksgiving Eve. It was Thanksgiving Eve, or maybe it was like Black Friday, like the weekend of Thanksgiving or whatever. My family and my cousin's family, like we would go and see whatever one of the Christmas movies that was like one of the seasonal movies that was out that year. Like we did it for a chunk of years. It was like a tradition.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too.
But I can't remember because if we were gonna see it, if we were seeing these movies on Thanksgiving Eve, that means they would have had to be out at least the week before Thanksgiving because movies come out on like Fridays.
Right.
So
Weird. I don't know. It's weird to me. This also, though, the actual release, like the first release in Hollywood, was on November 5th. So even
the week, like
earlier.
the premiere and stuff.
Yeah. So, box office that week, the top 10. Then when we get to the top 3, you got to guess the order of those top 3. Number 10, Love Affair. Yeah, no idea.
Listen, we were
6.
6.
Yeah.
No,
We weren't watching no Love Affair.
Yes.
94, we were 6.
6-ish. I had just turned 6.
Right.
2 days before that.
Ooh. Number 9, The River Wild.
I feel like yes.
I think that's a Kevin Bacon movie.
Is it?
I think it's they're like in the rapids and they're doing like the
I mean, the River Wild would make sense for the rapids, I feel like I'm going to have to look up a lot of these now.
I do. The River Wild.
No, I mean like you're looking at the list.
Oh.
Does it seem like we're going to have
Meryl
to look up all of
Streep.
these?
Kevin Bacon, David Strathairn.
Hearing?
Sure. Rafting
John C.
expert
Reilly.
Gail takes on a pair of armed killers while navigating a spectacularly violent river. That sounds fucking dope.
Oh, there's a movie called River Wild that's out now, and I've passed it a few times on Amazon or whatever.
Benjamin Bratt was in it. What?
But it's got Leighton Meester and Adam Brody in it. You know, I love me some Adam Brody, but Adam Brody's like the dickhead. He's the bad
He
guy.
plays a good dickhead. Let's be real.
And so I think I want to watch it. I did look, and it didn't have great ratings, but I don't want that to deter me because sometimes people are judging different things than me.
Right.
But Leighton Meester and him, aren't they a couple? I think that's cute that they did a movie together.
Are they?
I think they are. I think they're married and stuff.
You said Adam Brody, right?
Yeah, from the OC.
I don't know. All I think about with her is
Gossip Girl.
no.
Yeah, they're married.
Adam Sandler fucking where she's fucking her brother.
Oh, that's my boy.
Yeah.
With Andy Samberg.
With your brother? Sorry.
Yeah,
that's
they've
funny.
been married since 2014.
Really?
Yeah,
All
no
right.
kids, it looks like. So just living
Fuck
their
'em.
life.
We don't need it.
Adam Brody and Leighton Meester, but they're both in it, and they're not together in the movie.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
like,
They're
yeah.
in the movie. Okay, got it. Number
And
8.
they're both main characters. But it makes me wonder if because they are on like a rapid water, like and it's
Maybe-
called the same thing, so it
Maybe
makes
it's
me wonder.
the same, or it's like the
Wonder if it's a remake or if it's just like I don't know. Don't know.
number 8. Forrest Gump.
Gold.
I would do a line, but I don't want to get canceled.
Gold.
Can't get canceled.
Oh,
for
there's
that.
so many though. Honestly,
Mama, don't. No, I can't do it.
Mama said they're magic shoes.
See, you never go full. Can't even
No.
say that anymore. Can't.
Forrest Gump didn't though.
That's what I'm saying. You never go.
No.
Fart in the bathtub.
Mama said, but it makes me think. Like even though it's a part of the movie, every time I hear that line, I don't think of Forrest Gump. I think of Waiting. When Ryan Reynolds comes up to Justin Long, he's like, "Mama said they're my MAGA shoes."
Have you seen the
she's touching his
sequel
face.
to Waiting?
No, I know there is one. I just feel like I don't want to watch it. I feel like it's probably trash.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining trash.
Okay, well then maybe. I have seen it come up, but I have never watched
It's
it.
literally like the American Pie movies are like, yeah, good. And then they had like, the spin-offs where you're like, I'd watch it.
Like the Naked Mile, and
Yeah.
because I did like American Pie 1, good, obviously solid. American Pie 2, still pretty solid. American Wedding,
It was okay.
Yeah.
There were some good moments.
there's some dumb stuff, silly stuff. Still the original cast though, so cool. Once they started getting off into the other things like American Pie Beta House or whatever like the things they did, the Naked Mile, the book. They did one about the book, right?
Book
that
of
they found.
Love. There was
that's just too much.
There was Bandcamp
Bandcamp, right? I just feel like why?
because
I
they
mean
were
for money,
yeah,
but
for money. Yeah.
But come on.
And there was a Stifler in all of them. 'cause there was
There's
such a
no
huge
way that one day I'm gonna look. Maybe when I leave here, I feel like there's no way that any of the movies after American Wedding got like 50% or higher. I just feel like they were trash. Like
Rotten
ratings,
Tomatoes?
yeah.
Oh hell no.
I just feel like they were trash. Maybe audience rating, maybe some dumb people out there. No offense if you like those movies, but also
Maybe some
sorry,
dumb
not sorry,
people.
they're trash.
American Reunion. Let's see what they got on
That one wasn't great either.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see what that got.
That
on
one
Rotten
actually gave me
Teeth.
so much anxiety.
Really.
Well, with the whole like he didn't do anything wrong, but he's trying to sneak the girl about the drunk because he's trying to help, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna get caught, and he's not even doing anything, and I just
It's got a higher rating than I would think
Union?
on
Reunion?
Reunion on Rotten Teas. Like higher than I would ever give it myself. And
What
I
are you
love
looking up now?
all of them.
All of them? Can you just tell me all of them?
Oh, and then they did a new one, which was Girls Rule, Book of Love, Beta House, Naked Mile, Bandcamp. And yeah, that was it.
Yeah, American Pie. So if you look up American Pie film series, just those 4 are considered in the film series.
So American
Did you know
Pie
that?
Bandcamp has a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Naked Mile has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Beta House and Book of Love have no rating. So that
People
means
didn't even care enough to go read it.
Yeah. It has an audience score. It doesn't have a critic score because it only has 3 reviews. Wow.
And American Pie we've done on the show, so we know that had like at least it was like 60s or something. We're not talking great, but better.
I mean, it's a genre-defining movie too. Like,
Let's see. What
be
was
real.
the second one?
So American Pie, since we've did it, we can say it.
The second
61 across the board for audience and
the
critics.
second one has a higher audience rating than the first one,
I think I know why.
but worse critic rating.
I think I know why.
Just the one scene.
Yeah.
That's my favorite scene in the movie.
What'd she say? Where'd little Johnny go, or Johnny West or something?
But it's what's funny is obviously maybe it's some other people's favorite scenes too. It's my favorite scene just because of the way the guys interact with each other in that, just like the way, but it has one of my favorite
the walkie-talkie scene. Yeah.
It has one of my favorite lines in the entire movie. And I read that, or I have seen, I used to watch the commentaries where the cast is doing that, like Jason and all of them are doing it. And they said it was an ad-lib scene, which made me love it even more. When they're in that house and they're still hiding and they're in the closet and Stifler says something, or they're trying to hide, and Finch says something to him, but he calls him Steven, and his immediate reaction is, "Don't call me Steven." And it's just so like simplistic.
But
and
also Steven Stifler would, don't call me Steven.
Don't call me Steven. And but I read that was, I mean, it wasn't a line. That's what he said back to him.
There's also, and I don't know if it was from that same commentary track, but there's also when they're like kissing each other and he smacks his hand away. That was all ad-lib.
Yeah, well, he almost laughs. You can see him almost laugh.
It's great. Number 7, The Specialist.
I don't know what that is either.
So I remember looking this up today because I was like,
what is that?
What would it be? And it wasn't what I thought it was.
It sounds like an action movie of some sort, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yes.
Is it?
It is. Let's see. I don't think this was the one that came up when I looked for it.
Are you sure it's right?
No, the next one is the one I looked up and I was like, that's not it. The Specialist is a movie with Sylvester Stallone and Sharon Stone. A woman entices a bomb expert she's involved with into destroying the mafia that killed her family. Ooh. 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Worth it.
I will say, out of all the 80s blonde people, movie, whatever, I think Sharon Stone is the best actual actress from that
She
kind
was
of thing.
pretty hardcore.
She's good.
I even liked her in Catwoman, honestly. Like, I know Catwoman was a flop to a lot of
But
people.
she was the best part of the movie. Yeah,
I liked Catwoman. I'm not going to lie.
You can like whatever you want.
I just did.
What's the Rotten Tomatoes score of Catwoman?
It's probably not good.
See, I want to start doing movies like that more on this show. I know you like to pick. Well, no, I know you like to pick like movies that are like in depth and like whatever that we talk
I've
about.
gone back and forth because I've picked some of the dumb ones too.
Right. I just want to pick some shit movies to watch and just destroy it even more or have a good time with it. Yeah, Catwoman. We'll probably do it on this, but we're gonna say it anyways. It's got an 8% on Rotten
Audience
Tomatoes.
or
critics. I'm not gonna say the audience. It's low. But
better than that.
a little better.
I just honestly, I liked the revamped Catwoman
suit kind of thing. Okay.
And I mean, she's hot. Halle Berry's hot. I thought, but yes, the movie itself, like the plot and everything was kind of like really.
There's one thing that's worse than that movie, and it's the video
Just
game
one?
that they made. Well, I mean, like in that era.
I don't think I played that. Like if it was like specific to that one.
It was. It's one of the worst like made. Watch a video on it on YouTube just to see how bad.
They just like push it out before it was ready, or
it was like they said, "Hey guys, was there 5 of you here? Just make it." and they went, okay. And they made it, and it's bad.
Mm.
Number 6, The War. So I looked this up to make sure. This is a movie that has Elijah Wood and Kevin Costner. A Vietnam veteran helps his kid battle over a treehouse while recovering from his traumatic war experience. What? It's got a higher rating than most movies we see on this show.
I mean,
IMDb.
I guess if he's looking for a purpose and wants to still be the hero, so he's helping his son
It's 2 hours and 6 minutes
with this mission.
of a treehouse.
And Elijah Wood was how old at that time?
Probably like our age. He's
a little older than us, isn't he?
1981, so yeah, so he's 7 years older. 6 years old.
So he was like 13 at
Probably
the time?
13, yeah. Well, who knows when they filmed it, but yeah. Number 5.
Okay.
I did not know this movie existed and who's in it and how much money it made. Frankenstein.
It's like a newer Frankenstein.
Robert De Niro is fucking Frankenstein. That's what
This is
my
what, this is
reaction
94,
was.
yes?
Yes, 94.
Frankens-
Robert De Niro is the creature. Helena
Duh.
Bonham Carter is Elizabeth. Kenneth Branagh, who is pretty good, is in it. Ian Holm is in it. John Cleese is in it.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That's it? That's the one you're talking about?
Yes. It grossed $112 million worldwide.
Well, he doesn't look... Okay, so he doesn't look like Frankenstein, though.
I guess. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Well, not your typical Frankenstein. Like he definitely looks like someone who's been put together, but he doesn't look like Frankenstein.
Right.
You know what I mean? He looks like someone that somebody would make fun of and call
He looks like
Frankenstein
Robert De Niro.
if he had his face put
He
back
was-
together.
Yeah. It's funny, though. Like, I don't remember ever hearing about this movie.
I don't either, I don't think.
Weird. Number 4. Another biggin. Pulp Fiction.
Wow, did it say how many weeks? Did you not look?
I didn't look, but I know that Forrest Gump was in its like 19th week.
Well, I almost asked back on Forrest Gump because I was like, there's no way it was new at that time and it had been down at number 5 or whatever, not 5, 8, whatever
Right.
it was.
Let's see when did Pulp Fiction come out. Because we have
We're so invested in the
October-
top
I
10
know.
this week, you guys.
October 14th is when it came out. So this is November, what did I say, 11th?
11th,
So
so
that's
like a
already a
month?
month, yeah. So that's still good for us. Yeah. So top 3, no particular order. The Santa Claus is in it. Stargate, Interview with a Vampire. Which, when I looked it up, did you know that Interview with a Vampire was a different name, kind of?
I did know that, but I don't remember what it was. But yes, I did know that.
It was, what was it? Because it was like, it had another name, The Vampire Chronicles.
I don't like that.
Me neither. Interview with the Vampire Chronicles. Like, why the hell, were they supposed to make another one?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like Chronicles. Makes it sound like there should be multiple things.
Right. And it's based off of the books and everything, but it's still
Like
weird.
the Pepperwood Chronicles.
The Anne Rice books or whatever. Right, exactly.
in New Girl. When he's like, I think it could be a series. Well, it's called The Chronicles. So
Chronicles.
I assumed that you'd. Emily will get that if she's listening.
If she is. Hey, she said she's top
We'll see.
top podcast. So yeah,
Emily, if you heard this, you text me about that New Girl reference. That's how I'm going to know if you listened.
I'm waiting.
Love you.
Waiting. All right, what do you think it is?
All right. I think what week is Stargate? I'm putting Stargate number 3.
Okay.
But what week? So Santa Claus is number 1. What week is
Same date.
Santa
Okay.
Claus?
And Interview with the Vampire is the same date.
It's hard because it's close enough to Christmas to where the Christmas movie could have taken.
Right. And this is where
The
I
lead?
come into like, why would you release this movie, Interview with the Vampire, there? Well, because it's not quite Christmas season yet, right? Okay, so then why would you put the Santa Claus here?
And right after Halloween, they could have moved it up 2 weeks.
That's what I'm
sooner.
saying.
I personally think it should go the Santa Claus, Interview with a Vampire, Stargate. Personally, not to take anything away from the other movies, I just think for the weekend of, that's the order I would choose to see them in.
So it is number 1, Interview with a Vampire. Number 2, the Santa Claus, and then Stargate.
Okay, so I mean, but again, it could have gone either way. They both came out that weekend. If Interview with a Vampire was in its second or third week, I would have felt more confident putting it at number 2. But you're right. You are right in between Halloween and Christmas.
It's a weird time.
Well, not right between, but not Christmas, Thanksgiving. You're right between Halloween and Thanksgiving, which Thanksgiving week is usually Christmas movie season. So it's a little early for that. But Interview with a Vampire is a little late for Halloween. So it's like...
It's weird. Budget time. What do we think it costs to make the Santa Claus? I guessed on this.
There's some stuff.
There's some stuff. I mean, in the time, if you think about it, there are some like CG elements in here. There are some weird little things they had to make. They had to make
90s.
The sets, the North Pole set, which looks so different from the second movie to the first movie. It's kind of wild that they didn't just look at the first movie and then try to make like. I remember in the second movie he goes into like his room, or maybe it's the third movie. I don't remember, but there's like a Santa Claus face fireplace. But then in this movie, it's like such a small rinky-dink room, and the puppets are next to the thing, and but those aren't there. Like, did he just go in and remake everything? And would he force the elves to do it? Also, in this movie, I know they say he's got 11 months to get his affairs in order. So does that mean after that he just lives in the North Pole forever?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Which is why Bernard says later when he's like, when the kid's like, I'm going to miss you. Like, I don't want to not see you. And Bernard's like, you can still see him whenever you want. He can come and visit whenever you want.
Right. So does he have to land on that
thing? But why does he have to live there all the time? Because they did that first year without him living up there.
That's what I'm saying.
Can't he just go there for Thanksgiving like he always does?
Right. Why does he got to be there the whole time?
Like he did that year.
What's he doing? Overseeing?
That sounds like...
Bernard's got this.
They did just fine without him that year.
Yeah, and then what I was getting into is every time he comes in, I know they change it and they show it in the second and third movie where he lands, and then the elf has to come and put the code into the North Pole, and then it lowers him down. Why did it change in the second and third movie to where it just opens and they fly in? Who's in charge of that?
It's a new Santa. They don't even know him. He doesn't know the code.
Yeah, but why would it be like that?
They changed a lot of things when he came in. We saw that.
So did he?
So maybe he was like,
did he Tim Taylor everything?
This is too long for me to wait to get into the North Pole.
Ridiculous. All right, budget time. Again, what do you think?
I don't think anybody else in this movie really could have been pulling as big of a salary. Technically, I mean, you got to think he is. This is 94. I would say this is maybe not the height of Home Improvement, but probably the height of Home Improvement. I feel like
when did it start? 91?
I feel like it could have been for him.
Probably.
So, but really no one else that was like...
There is nobody else in this movie.
That's what I'm saying. So...
Judge Reinhold, but he's not really in the movie.
They still had...
Gets his weenie whistle at the end.
They still had stuff.
They had to make the fireproof suit. They had to make the reindeer.
Right. Which were all women.
Were they?
So.
Fun
fact.
They were all does.
Male reindeer lose their antlers in winter.
Oh, in winter. Oh.
So technically, but the females do not. So technically.
Rudolph is a woman.
All of them.
Right.
They all have antlers. In all of the pictures and in all the movies and in all the stories, the reindeer in winter have antlers.
Unless they're just...
Magic.
Right, and they don't have a sex. They're just reindeer. Magic reindeer.
I'm just saying, technically speaking, real reindeer.
Okay. I mean, I'm okay with it.
I mean, all their names could...
Right. What's a name?
I mean, Vixen's definitely a female.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Dancers.
Definitely female.
But some of them, but the other ones I feel like are unisex. Could have gone either way.
Imagine naming your daughter Blitzen.
Rudolph is definitely
Rudolph. I mean, it depends
that
on
sounds,
how you...
That sounds male.
Notice I didn't do the other salute.
But to each their own. I'm just
okay.
I'm going based off science.
Sure. So
I don't actually care what they are.
scientifically speaking, how much money do you think it costs to do all that
I'm gonna
and
say
get female reindeer in there?
yeah, because they were real reindeer. I'm gonna
Could've-
say $22 million.
22 million. I guessed 30 million. I want to ask a question before I tell you the number.
Okay.
How did you land on 22?
I actually almost said 30.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I don't think it's quite 30, but for some reason I didn't want to do 25.
Okay.
So I went in between 20 and 25. That's how I got 22.
Actual budget,
Uh-huh.
$22 million. There's nobody else here to see this, so maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. But right on the head. We need a buzzer for that.
That literally was the only reason. That was the only. I almost said what you said. I almost said 30.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe not quite that much.
Good job.
I-
Let's see if you're
Wally's
2 for
gonna
2.
say I'm a cheater, and I should have said 25 just to.
Well, to be
Although
fair,
had I said 25, maybe it would have been 25.
to be
'cause
fair, we're on 146 episodes. I would say you've been here for
I know what I'm doing, guys.
more than 56 episodes, so you've gotten
I know what I'm doing.
right. You got it down.
I'm a good guesser.
So box office. Let's see if you are that good of a guesser.
I feel like I do worse with the older ones because I just
It is weird.
different time.
Different time. Yeah.
Um,
Opened at number
box
2.
office.
Tim Allen.
Box office overall, they made multiples. It's number 2.
There's a TV show now.
TV show.
Obviously, I wonder what residuals look like for this.
I mean,
movie.
now granted, they hadn't made one in a long time.
Tim Allen's like, I ain't doing nothing. What do we got? I want money.
I'm gonna say box office. It's not like this isn't like Marvel level or something. I'm gonna say box office.
Something. You gotta get it because you're on a heater. I'm not looking.
It's a Christmas movie. Christmas movies are pretty. I'm gonna say 117.
117. I guessed 120.
We're
same
we're
ball-
right there though.
Right there.
We're right there today.
Opening weekend, it made $19.3 million. It's pretty good.
That's good.
That's
That's
pretty
a
good.
good opening.
That's almost its budget in its opening weekend. Overall, it made $190 million.
Oh, we're off.
Yeah, I mean, not
We're
that
off.
far off.
I figured hundreds.
Mhm.
I just didn't think it would push 2. So I'm impressed.
And me too. I didn't.
I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
I wouldn't think it'd be up there. Now, the main thing here is, what did the Santa Claus 2 make? Load page. Come on. 172 million.
Still impressive, especially for a Christmas movie. I feel like
Still not bad. Not bad there at all. Let's see what the Santa Claus 3 made.
I wonder if for 3 they brought in Martin Short because they were like, we might need some star, but we need some additional
I
entertainment.
invented Jill. That made 110 million. So
not
kind of down the line
Drop
there.
down on that one.
But I mean, that's still not bad.
No, and like I said, for a Christmas movie, it's not like people are watching this all year long.
That only had a $12 million budget.
The third one.
It seemed like there
I
was
mean,
a
I
lot
know
more
Tim.
going on.
I mean, salary wise, they neither were probably getting paid what they would have in the 90s.
True, but I
but
just felt like that movie
They
would have.
did more stuff. I feel like
Yeah.
the stuff. Maybe stuff got cheaper though.
I know what movie you should do next week. I'm not going to tell you what movie to do.
Am I picking next week?
Yes. So start thinking about it. It might be a Christmas movie with Tim Allen in it as well. I'm not trying to steer you there, but start thinking. Tomatometer time. The Rotten Tomato score, the Roddy T's, critics and audience. We got a guess out of 100%. What do you think? Both at the same time. I don't care.
I feel like the pressure's on now.
Mm-hmm. Did it to yourself?
Okay. I'm going to say audience,
Audience.
72.
72. Okay.
Critics, I mean, I can't see critics hating it.
I can see some critics being like, I don't like Tim Allen and his shtick, right?
In the 90s, though, still, even?
People weren't.
But I also, it's a holiday movie, and I feel like people aren't probably putting a lot of thought into At least back then. Back then, the holiday movies, I feel like they were like, it's fine.
Maybe.
But I wouldn't say they'd hate it either. I'd say audience 7. What did I say?
You said 73, I think. 72, 73. 70 something. Roll
70.
tape.
We'll say 73.
Okay.
Because I don't remember now. Critics 60.
60. So I guessed audience 80. Felt like everybody loves this movie. Critics, I guess 72.
So still same
Yeah, same
range-ish.
Yeah. So IMDb, we're just going to throw that out there, give it a 6.5.
Okay.
Audience score, 66. A little low for me.
A little low, I think.
Critics, 73.
So I said 73. I was off.
For audience.
My like abilities were like
You switched them.
switched them.
Whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
though.
I feel like
I mean,
it
I'm
should
not
be
mad
a
at
little,
it, but I would have thought audience would have been higher.
A little higher.
Yeah.
Higher. So, favorite character time. What do we got?
Comment.
Okay. That was too quick, but okay. I see it.
I just like the attitude,
Yeah.
and I don't know why they landed on Comet being
That. Yeah.
the main reindeer, but yeah, I just thought she was,
Of course, she.
I liked her sass, but I still liked that she appreciated him and gave him the like in case he fell off the roof.
Right. How nice.
Thing.
But we don't care about the other Santa Claus. We didn't learn any lessons from all the
she
other
didn't
ones.
like that one.
We.
Maybe
I
he
wonder
was
if that what if that was like the whole deal, and they like I said, if they made this movie as kind of darker, they went into it like, yeah, fuck that guy. We pushed him off the roof because we wanted him out of here.
Mayhaps.
My favorite character, it's got to be Tim.
I mean, yeah, right after Comet would be Tim.
Sorry, Scott Kelvin. Also, what's the chances of getting a Santa Claus with the same?
I know, because that works so well for him too. Like
Unless, hold on.
PJs and anything else.
Unless there's bigger magic at play here, and only somebody who puts on the cape has to be
So if someone,
because Jack Frost is
not
JF, unless his real name.
but he had his own magic.
Right, but unless his real name was something else.
But also that would if
Steve Charles.
But if that was the case, then when that Santa fell off the roof, what would happen? He would just
He wouldn't have
get
felt
back up, and he would.
Right. It's not an SC,
pretend
so
I'm
we're
not
good.
here.
Right.
Like, he gets
Also,
back up.
he was making a lot of noise for being somebody who's supposed to
Oh,
be.
Rose, such a ladder.
I never really put that together. Okay, I gotta kind of admit something. Every time I watch this movie, it's on TV, so I catch it wherever I catch it, and then keep watching.
I watch it. Like I said, this is one of my top tiers, so I watch it every season.
Sure, I haven't seen the beginning of this movie in a long time.
Okay.
I completely forgot they went to Denny's, and then they sat there, and he's like, "You burn turkey too," and the guy's like, "Ha ha ha."
With his hand,
Right.
and they're out of like everything.
Yeah, I was like, what? Is this new to me? Like, I didn't remember. And the funny thing too is I immediately recognized that they were in Toronto filming this, because when they drive into that Denny's, the next store to it is the beer store. They only have that in Canada. In the street that they do the wide shot on, I was like, well, that's Toronto. That's 100% Toronto.
But where are they supposed to be?
Chicago.
That's what I thought. So
Chicago, Toronto, Windy City.
But why couldn't they film in
So
Chicago?
a lot of movies
Winter
film
movies.
in Canada, because not just winter movies, just general movies, because money is a little, American dollars spend more up there, and you get bigger tax cuts from doing that.
There are some
Also, it's less busy and more people don't care.
there are some game shows filmed like in Ireland.
Oh. There's a lot of shows that are filmed if you're going like outside and stuff to get like cool shots over everywhere.
Like
Not in America, because America sucks.
like some of the Fox ones,
I
like
said it.
like Don't Forget the Lyrics, Beach Shazam,
I
like
don't watch
those are like they film in Ireland.
I don't think I watch any reality TV anymore.
I just like the music ones.
You know what this is going to be a bad thing. I've been watching American Chopper again.
Cute.
I know. I don't know why.
I don't either.
Like, seriously, I think it's them just arguing with each other, and it's hilarious, and just reliving it, because I watched all of it.
I'm not, to be honest, in general, I am not a reality TV person. I've watched, I do not watch The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, the Keeping Up with the Kardashian. Like I've never been. That's not my thing.
No.
The only show that I've had a guilty pleasure in that was a reality show like those in recent years was Love Is Blind. And that's because at first I liked the concept of it. I thought it was an interesting concept. Same with The Voice. I watched a good chunk of the first few seasons of The Voice. Interesting concept. Nobody knows what you look like, blah, blah, blah. But then Love Is Blind, it's another one that just became way too reality TV-ish where you have all the drama and stuff. And I'm just okay, I don't care about that. But I like the game shows.
Are you watching the Squid Game on Netflix?
No.
Why not?
But I don't know.
What?
I don't. Although I do, I follow a guy that was on it.
I keep seeing him come up on reels and stuff.
Yeah, I follow.
Watch it. It's pretty good.
Eric, or he's Irish or whatever, but he's on it. He's one of the Irish guys on it. But he's posted. I guess whatever. I don't know anything about. I never even watched Squid Games.
Watch it.
Whatever. Like
watch
the show.
It.
I didn't watch the show.
You will be sucked in immediately.
I cannot do.
Yes, you can. Immediately, you'll be sucked in. I'm telling you.
But listen.
Watch it.
He was talking. He made a post about because finally his episode came, because it was one of the shows where they don't release all the episodes at the time, or the same time or whatever. Which is what they do with Love Is Blind and stuff now too. Like a lot of those shows. And he's Irish, and people were commenting, I cannot believe the other Irish guy did not save you. Because I don't know anything about the show, but I guess
we're supposed to be
people were picking people and they were like, there were so many people of his followers that were so like, what the hell? Like, that's not funny. Even like the national respect from the same country.
You're out for yourself, trying to win all that money.
But I do like Name That Tune. Okay. I like Don't Forget the Lyrics. I like Beach Jam because I'm good at those.
Okay.
I can smash that shit. Musical shows, I've got it.
It's your jam.
And I get so mad at people when they don't know.
You should be into it.
I agree. But especially when Don't Forget the Lyrics, they'll be ready to lock in the lyrics, Steve. And they've got one word, instead of it was A. The smallest. And I'm no! I'm getting so mad.
You fucked up.
I just love it.
Back to what we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Santa Claus, what's your favorite scene in this movie?
There's a lot of good ones. Honestly.
There is. This movie is sceney.
Real quick, if you're watching us, you'll see the clip that Steve just played. But I need to acknowledge Tim Allen's legs.
He's got some.
He had some good legs.
He was doing some.
Them legs were in shape. He's on the roof in his boxers because they're you have
maybe
to put
he
on
knew, and he's like, I got to do some crunches or something.
He was in good shape. Tim Allen in the 90s had his shit together.
Good for him.
Physically.
Good for him. Well, he was doing a lot of physical comedy too, right? So maybe,
true. Favorite scene.
It is hard to pick. This is movie. It's not a long movie, but there's a lot going on here.
And it's like I said, it's in my top tier. So there's a lot of things I like about this movie.
Sure.
Favorite scene. I really like a lot of his interactions with Neil just because
it's funny.
Really funny. I honestly think the first time they're in the North Pole, not when they first get there, but that chunk of time.
Yeah.
Because of multiple things. I like Judy with her hot chocolate, and I like the puppets, and I like, the polar bear walking down the street, and I like, him being like, what if I choose not to believe? And they all just,
what?
And they all, but I also love, and I crack up every time he did so, just the physical comedy of it was perfect. When he shows him the clause on the back of the card, and it shows him reading it, and he's like,
right, yeah.
With the thing all zoomed in on his face, and he's trying to read the thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's just really, he did it really well.
Tim Taylor is what it is. Let's be real.
I just really like this movie. And there's a lot of quality parts. There's a lot of funny parts. There's a lot of Neil parts. His sweaters alone, I feel were a character.
Yes, that's something no one talks about. Sweaters. Through the entire movie, it's not it's a holiday season.
And she never stopped him.
No, good for her.
But he even says at one point when they say something about it, I think Tim maybe says something about it, and he's like, You were right about the sweater. Says it right to her. So clearly,
Yeah.
she has made comments about the sweaters.
But she doesn't tell him
No,
or stop
he
him. So
still wears them.
that's a good way.
Honestly, some of those sweaters would have probably hit today.
Oh yeah, they'd be expensive.
Oh my God. And with like a sweater with some leggings and some boots, so cozy.
Koozie.
Like at a ski resort or something, or in a cabin.
Go to a nice ski resort.
I would rock them.
So I'm trying to think mine too. I purposely didn't write anything here just because I wanted to talk and see, and maybe if something would be like, oh, I remember this. Or
I mean,
this
I did
better,
like the
this,
weenie
whatever.
whistle too.
The weenie whistle's great because
it
it comes full circle to somebody who doesn't care, and then you can see. I will give full credit to Judge Reinhold in that scene. He looks like a child at that moment. That's hard.
Just like lights up.
Right,
yeah.
that is hard to
I mean,
act.
she too, when she puts her hand on it and she's just like,
yeah,
this is real. This is in my lap right now.
And the wild thing is that's her ex-husband, but now she's like Santa Claus. Like it's kind of wild. And then they obviously get to it in later movies and they're fine, but it's still weird. Like that's got to be so weird. Like this is a dude who, and let's be real.
When he's like Santa.
Yeah. Great.
Like
but
a 40-year-old man.
He is a piece of shit at the beginning of this movie, right? It's obviously
he's not present. He puts his work first, which is probably why their marriage fell apart. I mean, like
also look at Jungle to Jungle. Same fucking movie. Seriously.
But
I don't know what
Christmas.
Right, I don't know what it was about the 90s, but every movie was about a dude who's a piece of shit and then becomes not a piece of shit.
Weird.
What are they trying to say something like maybe dads are pieces of shit, but in reality they'll be fine. They'll come around. Maybe a lot of people didn't have Anyway, so I think my favorite part.
My dad's awesome. So I don't know.
We didn't have that problem, right? We had good dads.
My dad was Tim Taylor, basically. So
there you go. You had you had to look up to. I'm just trying to think because again, this movie is so good and so well paced, so well done. There's no real part that I'm like, I like this whole movie, and this is a holiday movie where if it's on TV, this is what I'm doing, and it doesn't get old. The other ones, I just don't want to watch. They just feel too goofy or too not serious. If that makes sense.
Well, even like Santa Claus 2, like I hate the reindeer in it.
Right.
Chet.
Yeah. Why do you got to get new reindeer?
I mean, I love that his name is Chet.
Sure, but
and he's a goofball, but it's like, come on, what? And we're just gonna ride Chet down to the States?
That's not how we do this. Also,
I do like when he eats all the candy though, and he's
also them being like, I thought this was Canada. Fucking stupid.
Because it was. Steve.
I'm gonna go with the scene in which the Santa Claus falls off the roof, just because if you're watching this for the first time and that happens, that's the point in the movie where you go, what the fuck is going on here, right? It takes you out of, okay, I kind of know what's going to happen. The movie's called The Santa Claus. Sure, he's going to become... Dude, he died. He fell off a roof.
He vanished.
And waved goodbye.
Disappeared.
And then figuring out that it is a Claus, not whatever. And just how he puts the coat on, because Charlie said, put a coat on. Put the coat on. Let's go up there. And
it's like you have to do this.
Right, we need a ladder. Boom, there's a ladder.
With the rose, such a ladder.
Is that because he said that? Or is that...
I love how he's like, see, Dad, I told you it was...
Okay, here's the one thing I want to say, and I didn't put this in my fun facts, but we're going to say it. There is a fan theory, a very big fan theory about this movie, that when Charlie goes to sleep, everything afterwards is all a dream.
Not real, yeah.
Right? We are seeing the rest of the movie, the rest of the 3 movies, the fucking TV show, it's all a dream. And either he's in a coma, and he got cancer or died or something or whatever, and this is all we're seeing.
Food.
Probably we don't even know if he ate. He said he didn't want anything. He got the milk. Maybe it was bad milk.
They were out of chocolate, and it's not really what he wanted.
So everything that's happening is a dream, and that's one of the biggest points of why would there be a ladder company saying how he interpreted what they were saying, right? So it's in his mind. He's coming up with these things, and he's the one who's pushing the plot forward, telling his dad to do these things. So it's his dream. I kind of like that. And that would be cool if, like, at the end of, let's say, the 3rd season of, like, the Santa Clauses, he wakes up in a fucking hospital bed from a coma with a beard on. Just
or, hear me out,
uh-oh,
because Santa knows all.
That's his gift.
That Santa was there at that house for a reason. Didn't fall. He was passing it on. He was like, this is what they need.
Or this is all in preparation for Charlie to be Santa Claus.
And they need to do Tim first.
But they're not. He's not dreaming it, but it's all like premonitions and whatever for the magic to fully
Because he does
make
say
him
that
into
he's
Santa
going to go into
Claus.
family business in the
Right.
very first movie.
Right. So what if it's like to get him ready for it, and then boom, in the second movie, he's not about it anymore, right? And it's like, oh, it's
I
testing
never had
him.
my dad. My
Right.
dad's about all these other kids.
Right, and it's testing him to get him ready to like, well, this is what's going to happen if you do want to take up the mantle of being Santa Claus.
It's always been about you, Charlie.
And then in the third movie, they have a kid, and that's not about him anymore, and it's all this stuff. Look, I got this could be something. Just saying.
Have you watched the show?
No, I will not watch the show.
Yeah, I don't.
Any what the fuck moments. For me, it's obviously the Santa Claus falling off the roof.
Which is also your favorite
Right.
part. So, I mean, well, it is a what the fuck moment because I do feel like there are holes there. There are questions that you can't answer.
True.
But I also think, like I said earlier, one of the what the fuck moments to me is how quickly his body was changing because I don't think they needed to do it that quickly. He had 11 months. They could have built up to it.
Yeah.
Instead of all of a sudden him just being Santa Claus
Or like
after like a month.
Right around Thanksgiving, it's like, oh, you ate a lot for Thanksgiving. Oh,
Or
shit.
even gradually, like I said,
Yeah.
like, you know, like why did he, by fucking February, not even, by January, he's already
Right.
a
Santa
big
Claus.
guy.
Well, I think they did it for the jokes.
Sure.
Right.
But
I get it. Yeah. Make him gradually turn into Santa Claus. He doesn't need to overnight just be a fat, jolly guy with a white beard.
oh my God, when they dropped off the list too, and it was just boxes and boxes.
And okay, are those people not elves? Because they weren't. So what did they think that was? They didn't think that was odd?
I mean, all they said was, we have a delivery.
Right.
He signed it. And then they were like, we're not taking him back. There were like, what, 3-4 trucks or something? It was a bunch of trucks.
So imagine every kid in the world, right? How many names that would be? How
and
long
it's a
that
sheet
list?
of paper.
Yeah.
And on that one sheet of paper, there was probably at least over 20 names on that list.
A lot of boxes.
So
And how you gonna have the time? Is that the time that's what he's doing for 11
One
months?
of the things about Santa,
Fucking naughty, nice, naughty, nice.
like these movies,
Sure.
where Santa is real
Mm-hmm.
and adults are realizing
Right.
Santa is real. Are there not presents on Christmas morning that they go, I didn't buy these?
It's part of the magic.
So they don't know. They think they bought them?
Right.
Okay.
That's what I've heard. Because I had the same thought. Like, so these
'Cause
just
that's weird
show
to
up,
me. You know, like,
and then they go.
like the puppy.
Right. Who's
Did you get a puppy?
No, did
Where
you?
did this puppy come from?
Why didn't we talk about it?
Where did this live creature
Right,
come
right.
from?
Now we got to
In
deal
our
with
home.
this?
Now we have to take care of it. Like,
Well, there's some. The one thing to be said about it is if you're in a family and you know there's that meme that goes around like the dad seeing the Christmas presents for the first time too, like, oh, look what we got you. Like, okay, sure. So he's gonna be like, oh, good,
just another
good present.
demonstration of how much moms do.
Right, but yeah, good present, mom. And she's like, I didn't fucking get that. What do you? Yeah, good present. Like, okay, but the whole thing is it's supposed to be magic to make them not think or to think that they bought
that
that for
parents
them. So
remember doing it.
exactly. Now the other thing too, because you can say this, how do you get down a chimney if there's no chimney? Well, we
they
see how
show
that
that.
works, right? So same
They
thing.
don't explain the present thing.
Do they need to?
Now, in another movie that I watched recently,
Oh.
that Santa says that he still visits the kids who need him.
So he doesn't go to. Are we talking Violent Night? Okay,
He says
I
that.
didn't get to that point.
He says that.
Well, okay, I got to the point where it was like, yeah, he was turning away from the house, and then he sees a little girl, and he's
Because,
like,
well, so, okay, not to spoil it, but which is a very minuscule part, but they have a conversation, and she says, but my parents said that you're not.
right,
And he said, a lot of parents think that. And she's like, how could they think that if you're still,
right,
and he goes, well, I go to where the kids need me. So with that thought,
they're not going everywhere.
He's not going to every kid
Right.
because those parents do not carry on the illusion anymore, or those parents can afford or are buying their kids enough stuff.
I think that's way better,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you're not having to hit everybody.
I mean, I still think there has to be some magic because even the parents who are not buying their kids a lot of stuff, they're going,
right.
the fuck?
Or they're not paying attention because they need to be there.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
I thought that was a good way to explain it, though.
Yeah. Hey,
Because I thought if because I had that same thought when I was watching that movie
Mhm.
before we decided to pick the Santa Claus, because I was like, because so many movies I've had that thought where I'm just like, how can parents be so oblivious to the fact that he exists when new presents show up
Right.
that they did not buy?
They're just there, just like, did you buy that? No, did you buy that? Maybe grandma?
I'm
I
just
don't know.
saying, nobody's questioned it. So like,
Grandma? It's grandma. The fun facts of the fucking week. One of the children in Charlie's class during Parents' Day is an elf with pointed ears, which can be clearly seen when Charlie pulls the snow globe out of his backpack. When Charlie tells the class that his dad is Santa Claus, the elf boy is the only one who doesn't laugh. In fact, throughout the whole movie, most of the kids in the background scenes have elf ears in public places if you look hard enough.
well, I mean, it's really noticeable when, like, the cops are at their house.
Right.
And stuff. You can see, I mean, before they
Well,
show
they're
some,
showing that,
before
yeah.
that though,
Yeah.
you can see them, you notice them before they show
Well,
them
I
separate
think
from the
that
group.
was, and I always thought this, I believe that was the culmination of, if you were paying attention, that they're finally coming out to be like, we are here, right? Where if you are paying attention and looking in the background, they've been there the entire movie through that 11 months, checking on him, making sure he's doing the right thing or whatever, just to see if it is Scott Calvin should be, Santa Claus. That's how I took
We
it.
haven't talked about the elves.
What was it? The emergency? No, what was it?
It's something. It's
Yeah.
the
Stupid.
emergency. Yeah, I don't
And
know.
they got like pixie
Elves
dust on them and
with
stuff.
attitude. The tinsel
For
was
me,
cool.
this and Ernest Saves Christmas, like there's parts that just intersect for me, like the part where they're in the cop shop picking up Santa and all that. Same thing for me with same thing in Ernest Saves Christmas. I don't know why it just melds
The
together.
elves were a little cringe.
A little bit.
That elf when he's like elves with, but I did like the tinsel.
Yeah,
He
that
takes the
was
tinsel
good.
to do the thing.
For 1 week in November 1994, Tim Allen had the #1 movie at the box office, the #1 rated television show, and the #1 rated New York Times best-selling book titled Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man.
What is that book about?
Men being men, probably. You realize that his whole stand-up shtick was that men are better than women, and women are stupid, and all this shit.
I know. That's why I there are parts of me that hate that I connect him to my dad, because my dad is not that person. But
no, you don't connect Tim Allen. You connect Tim Taylor, and that's what I do.
But it has now made me connect. Like when I see Tim Allen in other movies, I think of my dad.
Which is fine.
So inadvertently,
but you're still not thinking about Tim Allen. You're thinking about the characters he's playing.
But still.
Right? So, and that's where I disassociate as well, because I don't like, some of his stand-up is funny. There's some good jokes in there. There's some good stuff in there, but the sexist stuff is no here nor there with where we are at today. In that, 80s, 90s, early 90s, that was how people viewed things. I mean, let's be real. A lot of people still view things that way. It's not right. Shouldn't be that right. Shouldn't be that way. But it is. There are some funny jokes. And it's okay to laugh at it. You don't have to believe it. But
Steve,
all the other
broken
stuff.
clock is still wrong twice in a day.
Yeah, you're right.
So, right. Still right twice in a day.
So it's also wrong.
I mean, it's wrong twice in a day, too.
It's wrong all day.
I didn't say anything wrong there. So
what I'm trying to say is, once he got off the deep end and like all this Trump stuff and all his right-wing agendas and all this stuff, and it's like, come on, guy. Home Improvement, which still has some sexist things in it. We've talked about this before. Jill is there to nip that in the butt, right?
Yeah, because she really was. He may have been. She was the boss of that fucking house. Like, she was.
And she took no shit. Now, she let him do his thing and have fun and whatever, but she still, hey, shut up. Tim Allen has a criminal record, and Disney has a strict no hiring of ex-cons policy. An exception, though, was made in this case.
Yeah.
Probably because he was on a Disney show at the time, because Home Improvement was being filmed on the Buena Vista lot in California. The role of Scott Calvin was written with Bill Murray in mind.
I don't like it.
After reading the script and being offered the lead role, Murray declined, saying he didn't think it suited his humor.
I agree.
Smart on him.
I agree, and I also don't see him as a father figure.
I don't see him as Santa
either. And I know that that's not fair because he's, played a lot of different roles, but I just don't see him as that.
I would like to have
role.
seen the movie with him in it, but I don't think it would be good.
It wouldn't have. It would have been a whole different vibe, I think.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. I think that his humor is not right for that. I think that in some of the parts it could have been. Like,
Well,
I think that he could have delivered a lot of that fine. But I just, you think about him in stuff like Ghostbusters and
We'll think of Scrooge,
and
right?
well, that's what. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's had Groundhog Day, freaking. I mean, he does have range.
Oh yeah,
He
but
does have it.
you need Tim Taylor in this movie. That's what works. So, on older releases of the film, Tim Allen made a sarcastic remark in the movie which included the line 1-800-SPANK-ME. During the film's release, a woman from near Cleveland, Ohio, called the supposedly fictional number for her curious grandchildren. It turned out to be a phone sex line. However, it wasn't until 1997 when Disney received complaints from parents whose children called the number and racked up huge phone bills did the studio take action and cut the line for future releases. Disney also said that they would purchase the phone number to disconnect the service. This part of the film is also cut in the DVD's release and on Disney Plus on television broadcasts. The number is changed to 1-800-POUND. So, fun.
Yeah.
Fun,
Wow.
fun. Very fun. Final decision time. Out of 10, what would you give it and why? And is this a must-watch, a recommend, or a skip?
So, you can take my overall rating.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you 2 because I'm going to give it my rating as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and that's fine. You can do that.
And I'm going to give it as a rating as if I was not watching at Christmas time.
Sure.
If we're not, because I feel like movies like this, and we've talked about this with our October movies too, where like there are some movies where like in October they're fine to watch, but as movies, not great.
Right.
Like overall.
Sure. You want that spooky vibe, but
Right. I would as a holiday movie, it's on my top tier list. So
Okay.
this is a 10 out of 10 Christmas movie for me.
okay.
Christmas movie.
Christmas movie.
I've not given any other movie a 10 out of 10 as a regular movie.
You have not, no.
As a Christmas movie, 10 out of 10 for me. It's in my top tier. As a movie, 8 out of 10.
All right.
Still high.
Yeah.
I still give it a good one.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of anything that like is bad, but it's not like, where these are Oscar worthy performances or it's really like deep and thought provoking.
Sure.
It's got character growth, it's got funny parts, it's got meaning, but I think it loses a little bit of it outside of the holidays because
I mean, yeah.
it's gimmicky. I mean, it's
Right.
it's
called The Santa Claus. Yeah.
But
You can watch it whenever, but it's
some
gonna
of
be
the
better,
points it gets are because Tim Allen does it so well. It's also because of the whole play on the Santa Claus.
Right. Because
thing, 'cause
if
I
you were to
like
look
that.
at Home Alone versus this, while they're both Christmas type holiday movies, you can still watch Home Alone whenever.
You could, yeah, but this is this is a Christmas movie.
Sure. So, must watch? Recommend?
I think if you haven't seen this movie,
Yeah.
yes, it's a must watch, especially at Christmas time. I would say that.
Cool.
I think if you're not going to watch it at Christmas time, I would recommend it. But,
Tim Allen.
watch it in December.
Of course. Yeah, have to.
And if you haven't seen it, what do you do?
What are you doing
What are you
with you?
doing?
Do you not like
How
Christmas?
have you not seen it?
Right.
Like,
So I'm going to read what I wrote here from my review. I grew up on Home Improvement. Tim Allen was the TV dad, and now he is Santa. Like, this was a perfect match. This is now, to me, just like a Christmas story and will be revered as a holiday classic for generations to come. The movie has wit and charm throughout and just enough goofy Tim in it to always make me laugh. There is a reason this will be on TV every day this month. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, and this is a must-watch for Christmas and a recommend for just everybody.
Steve, we were on it today.
Yeah,
Same score,
8-8.
same vibes.
I mean, I don't think you can give this movie a bad review. And anybody who gives it a bad review just doesn't like Christmas.
I'm actually surprised by the audience rating on it. I mean, it's not that 66 is bad. If this was any other movie, we would think decent. That's
Right,
a
yeah.
good rating.
Yeah.
I just think
Christmas time.
if you're
come on.
judging it outside of Christmas time, why are you rating it at all? So I can't believe that as a Christmas movie, it would be rated so low by audiences.
I agree. Yeah.
And again, not that 66 is low. That's a perfectly respectable rating. But why is it not higher?
Right, but why?
But why is it not
Why?
higher? Why did the critics understand here
Yeah, I don't know.
and y'all didn't?
Fucking up. Let's get on that Rotten Tomatoes. Bump up that score.
list.
So next week we continue our holiday selections with Tara's pick. She's
Right.
going to look
Totally.
on her phone.
I am.
While she does that, anybody who's out there listening or watching, if you want to give us a like, a favorite, a subscribe on YouTube, that would be great. If you want to give us a comment to tell us what movies we should do next, throw them in. We'll put them in the list and we'll get to them. Again, if you want to follow us on our social medias, at The Decision Reel, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, we're on there. We'll throw up a video here whenever we find it. Again, YouTube, same thing, at The Decision Reel. Find us where you can. Get some merch on our website, T-shirts, Spanx, hats,
Spanx.
other T-shirts. Is that a thing? Oh, leggings, whatever. Yeah. Tara, what do you got? Still looking. It's got to be a holiday movie.
I know. I'm trying to decide if I want to pick that one I was talking about earlier, where I said it's a newer one, but it's got Dan
Levy
Levy in it.
I want to. There's a movie I would want you to do, and I figured you kind of would pick it, but I don't think it's on your level right now.
What is it then?
I mean, it kind of correlates to this movie.
I assume you're talking about Jamie Lee Curtis, Tim Allen.
Yeah.
I don't dislike that movie.
Okay.
I still watch it during the holiday season, but it's not one of my need to watch it. Do I want to pick one of my need to watch?
It's your pick holidays. We want something to digest and talk
Is
about
Josh
and have a
coming
good
next
time.
week?
Probably, yeah.
Because
we got to see about because Wednesday, but whatever.
Because I kind of feel like I would want everybody here for this one.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I'm gonna pick it. I don't think it's been. We did not do it last season, so if you were doing this before I was on, I don't remember. But
I mean, we can look it up, but I would know.
Okay, you guys are gonna hate me. We're gonna do a Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, we have not, and I will gladly do.
We are gonna do a Muppets Christmas Carol, and I'm watching now 2 of my top tiers way sooner than I would normally.
But you can keep watching them again.
But I will, which I probably would.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, I'm okay with that.
Because I also feel like that's different from a lot of stuff we've done, not just Christmas wise, but like, come on.
Yeah, Michael Caine's in it, right?
There's some music, and there's
some Michael Caine.
There's some singing in it.
Yep.
So it's a musical,
it's
but
got
it's still
something
holiday.
for everybody.
It's Muppets. No one's picked. Has anyone done a Muppet movie yet?
We have not.
I mean, Walter's the only one picking cartoons, I feel like, at this point. But I
don't think I picked anything.
The first
Muppet
vibe.
The first puppet movie.
I do have a couple animated movies on my list. He keeps stealing like the moment.
Oh, well. We'll get there. We got time. So yeah, next week.
I was
Muppets.
thinking Nightmare Before Christmas. That was the other one I was between, but
I've never seen that movie.
that's another reason because I know you've said that to me before.
Never seen it. Maybe we'll do a have you not seen this movie? I don't know, whatever.
Oh.
Anyways, thanks for listening. Next week, Muppets. I'm here for puppets. Bye.